Hey, it's Central Valley Talk. I'm your host, Steve Walling. My guest for this segment, I'm excited about this, is Erica Magarian.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And you with the Fäsi, did I get that right?
Fäsi.
Fäsi, okay. Fäsi Estate Winery.
Yes.
And you were telling me that they've been around since 2017. No, since when?
We started making our wine back in 2003. That was our first vintage, and we've had our tasting room since 2012.
But you've been here since...
So, a fun fact about the Madeira appellation as far as the viticulture area is concerned, we've been making wine in this region since the mid-1800s.
Okay, so wine in this region?
Yes.
And you know, when I lived in Southern California, I used to just drive through here and thought it was a stop between Bakersfield and Sacramento. Little did I know. And
rich area.
We make great wines here.
We sure do. Sure do.
Somebody told me a while back that the wines that we make here are every bit as good as any other California wine. It's just some other regions kind of got the PR, but they can't necessarily match us with some of the wines we got, can they?
I agree.
There you go.
I definitely agree. Right in our own backyard.
Right in our own backyard. People drive around. Little did we know. So, you started your wine in 2003, you said?
2003, we started making wine.
You started making wine. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at two beautiful bottles here. Why don't you tell me a little bit about each of these bottles?
So the bottle of white wine in front of us here actually comes from our Argentinian winery. We not only have a winery here in Madera County, we also have ownership of a winery down in Mendoza in Argentina.
So we're kind of like an international business hub here, right?
A little bit.
Oh, cool.
Bit.
That's neat. But this bottle,
this
is
bottle,
local
the
stuff,
bottle
right?
of red wine here on the table in front of us is our flagship. It's what we're known for at Fäsi. It's our private reserve Syrah.
Private reserve Syrah.
Yes.
Okay, being rather wine ignorant, what is a Syrah?
Syrah is a grape varietal.
Okay.
There are over 1,500 registered grape varietals in the world as of last year.
See, I just thought there was, table grapes,
right?
Welch's grape.
There's so many wine grapes out there in the world, and they're making new clones and cross-pollinating stuff all the time.
Exciting.
It is very exciting. It's a great industry to be a part of.
And your part within this industry is what?
I'm the winery manager for Fäsi Estate Winery. I've been working with them for about 5 years now, and I love it.
You love it?
I love it. It's
you learn
a wonderful
a lot about
business.
Winemaking, huh?
Yes.
See, you're not old enough to remember, but years and years ago, there was an actor, Barry Fitzgerald.
Okay.
And I don't remember the wine company that he was on TV advertising for, but he always ended up the little old winemaker me,
Okay.
And I remember that's a long time ago, but winemaking it's really quite a science, isn't it?
It's very much a science. It's also an art.
Uh-huh.
And it varies from year to year, which is wonderful because farming changes, especially here in the valley, being that we don't get constant rain or consistent rain, for that matter, as we all well know. Looking forward to that storm this weekend.
Coming up, it's going to be good.
But it changes the way that we need to make the wine from year to year, which means that each vintage in and of itself will be different to the consumer.
How does it change it? What
Less rain versus more rain, more direct sun versus less direct sun.
How does that change the wine?
It changes at the grape level.
Okay.
So if it buds earlier in the year, that might give it a different palate, a different consistency, versus if it blooms late that year, if we have more rain than normal, which is pretty rare.
You're using very sophisticated wine verbiage on me. So, palate and consistency, what are we talking about?
Palate is your tongue.
Okay.
So that is what you are tasting in the wine. That is what you are consuming. That's what you're tasting when you're drinking wine.
Okay, so it's going to change the flavor of the wine a little bit, the taste of the wine.
Yes.
Putting it in simplistic terms. And what about production?
Production is greatly affected by the weather. It just depends year to year.
And Eric, I want to ask you, because this is critical to this part of the world. How are you being affected at the winery by what's going on with state regulations and water in the Central Valley?
It's always a challenge year to year. Grapes do well with less water, which is good.
Yeah, okay.
We do still water from our natural source. We have some natural springs on the property that we pull from, thankfully. But groundwater plays a large role in that.
Yeah.
So it's important to get that rain when we do get it.
That's good. So that's exciting.
It is very exciting. It's a wonderful business to be a part of. It's a great industry. You're always constantly learning new things and techniques.
And you're producing some really good wine.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, definitely.
Do we compete in the wine contests that take place in various parts of the world?
We do. For example, for the red wine, the Private Reserve Syrah, in 2018, last year, it earned a 98-point double gold medal up in Sacramento at the California State Fair.
Oh, right on.
And it also went on to earn Best of Class and Best in the Region awards.
Oh, I want some of that.
It's good stuff.
Best
it
of
really
class
is.
and Best in the Region. That's great. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, because I'm totally wine uneducated. White wines. In my understanding, they're like the junior league to the red wines. Is that kind of a...
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
Fill me in.
White wines come from white grapes, and red wines come from red wine grapes. That doesn't necessarily mean that you won't get a white that is more full-bodied.
Really?
It just depends. Like I said, there are over 1,500 registered varietals in the world. It depends on the bottle you pick up.
So, the wine that comes from Argentina, is it pretty good?
It's a wonderful bouquet of floral notes. It has hints of citrus and a nice peach finish. It's very tasty. Very
good.
tasty.
And we have that with hamburgers, right?
I tend to actually use this at home with salmon or halibut or even grilled chicken.
Ooh, sounds good. All right, so it's the red wine we use with hamburgers, right?
Definitely.
You know what
That's a great hamburger wine. It's also a great steak wine or a nice pasta dinner, pizza, anything along those lines.
Ooh, you're hitting me right in my heart.
Yes.
That's great. Well, Erica, is there anything new and exciting that's coming up in the winery in the next year or two that you can share?
Yes, coming up just in the next few months, we're going to be kicking off our spring concert series up at the winery. We're looking forward to showcasing some wonderful local artists. Some great food trucks will be up there joining us, so definitely check out our website, FäsiEstate.com.
Spell that out for people.
F as in Frank, A, S as in Sam, I as in Ida, estate.com. And you can also follow us on social media to stay tuned for the very latest on all of the events.
Facebook, Instagram,
Twitter.
All that stuff
we're all over the place.
And they're not censoring you for any reason, right?
No.
Well, that's great. So you can always be found there.
Yes.
And you're kind of a standout business here in the Central Valley. That's awesome. I appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And educating me a little bit more about wine. I might even start drinking it.
There you go.
Maybe
there you go.
Before you get out of the studio.
We are open 7 days a week, 11 to 5 for wine tasting, so stop by anytime.
And you're located up the 41.
Yes.
Right by the 22 Mile House. That's Road
208.
208, right there. You can make that right and go up, and I've seen the driveway.
We're perched on top of a little hill up there, and beautiful hidden gem.
Cool. That's great. Erica, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And thanks for having a good sense of humor.
Of course.
I do enjoy a good glass of wine now and then, so I'm looking forward to trying some of this.
Well, cheers.
Sorry you're not going to get any, but that's just too bad. But I'll see you when we come back.